early this morning. Just got back from Hog Rock, and I've been talking to the hardwood floor guy. So we had all of our floors done up and down, but we did not tackle the steps. And this was the first thing I did when we moved in. These were covered with carpet, and I removed that. And we did all the floors. The carpets were ripped out upstairs. We've basically done most of the house. And it is time. I finally had the mental energy and bandwidth to even think about what I want to do on the steps. I mean, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to refinish them. But I got back with the hardwood floor. The hardwood floor guy was the same thing. After he finished the whole house, he was done with our house. When he finished the upstairs, he was done with our house. And then he came down and did the entire downstairs, which was all oak. And by the time he was finished, he was tapped out. So it's been several months since I've even talked to him about doing the steps. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the balusters. And I'm going to do that this morning before he gets here. I'm going to try to do it. I should have done it last night before he came. And then we're going to paint. All the trim's already been painted. And then we're going to paint the risers to match the trim. And then the treads, they're huge. You know, they're big, I think oak, which I think will match the downstairs floor. They're probably not going to be oak. They'll probably be whatever's upstairs, maybe. I have no clue. So the plan right now is that they're oak and they're going to match the stain downstairs. And then the rail, we're not going to change the color on the rail. So we kind of got different colors of wood going on. We've got the wood walls, one color. The treads will be oak. The floor down here is oak. And then we've got the white trim. And we're just going to leave this the same color because the rail upstairs is in perfect shape. And it's this color. And this doesn't look bad. It just needs to be touched up. So we're going to sand this down and get it kind of refinished to where it looks nicer because it's got some scratches and stuff on it. So, a lot of scraping. I figured the hardwood floor guy would move a lot faster. You know, I researched this doing all this myself. I was going to buy a orbital oscillator, a sander, and there's just lots of layers of paint, and I really need, he'll know how to remove it better, and he's got better equipment. I mean, those sanders that they use on the floors will work a lot better. And then I'll just scrape the risers and get paint on those. So, I mean, probably a week of work between the two of us, and we should be able to get it all wrapped up. But got to remove the spindles. I call them balusters. He calls them spindles. I don't know what they're called, but they got to come out. So I got to label each one, and then I think there's just a screw. Yeah, I think there's just a screw at the top of each one that I've got to scrape and get down to the paint where I can get it out, or it may be a nail. And then they should just pop out, and then they're not even really connected at the bottom. There's some toenails, it looks like, but those should come out pretty easy. It's just sitting in a little hole. So, should come out pretty easy. We'll see. All right, so I've got them all numbered all the way up. And all the way up there, there's 22. And then I think there's just a little screw or something. Nail, screw, something. If it's a nail, I'll just pop them out. If it's a screw, I'll unscrew them. Next step. Yep, just a little nail in each one. It's nailed at the bottom as well. And then there's a little hole for it. Lots of nails in there. So I'll just have to clean those up once they're all out. I'll get all the nails pulled and get them ready to go back in. And they all probably just need little toenails, which is kind of what it looks like. There's like 2 nails in the side of each one. So that wasn't bad. That popped right out. Done. and all the way up. So you can kind of see, just kind of, it's messy. And then there's a little square pegs. And I can't tell what kind of wood that is. But that'll make sanding a lot easier. It's already going to be complicated because there's multiple layers of paint. There's like a very dark brown, then there's a lighter brown, and then you get down to wood, and that looks like oak. I mean, on these spots where the paint has been removed down, it looks like oak is underneath there. Like you can kind of see where I was pulling staples. I mean, that looks oaky, so I hope it's oak. And then there's my 22 balusters, and only one of them, the second one, was already broken, but the rest of them came off without breaking, which is good. So I'll have to fix that one. I think if I just poke the nails out, I'll be able to just toe nail right back into it. Should be fairly easy. And they've been painted, but I may scrape them down and paint them a little better while they're off. Be easier to paint while they're off than to, like, around the edges, around the bottoms. Make them look nice. Make them look nice. What do you think, Jesse? You don't want to have any of that, okay? You too busy? He's busy. He's on patrol this morning. All right. That's before. We'll see what after looks like. To get away from the stair refinishing madness, Jesse's posted up on the refrigerator. Good. At least he won't run out the front door. So the wood treads are, we think it's poplar. It's the same floor as upstairs. Making progress. So you can see they're poplar. It's kind of greenish yellow. It's hard to tell with the brown steps still, but interesting. It's an interesting pattern. So I think it's gonna look good. So we're starting up day 2 of the steps, and he got the treads cleaned off yesterday, and I was thinking there would probably be oak treads, but they're not. They are poplar. We're almost positive they're poplar, which is what the entire upstairs is. The whole upstairs is poplar. So we stripped it off. It was painted, and a lot of people used to paint poplar floors in these old houses. And we stripped all the paint off, went back down to, and the wood, it's all different grains. So there's a lot of green in it, and you can kind of see in this, it's yellowy, greenish. So we're going to, instead of trying to match the floor down here, which are oak, we're going to match the floors upstairs, which are poplar, and we're just going to do an oil-based stain on them, basically clear, and they'll just be kind of greenish yellow. But they're huge, thick treads. I think they're going to look nice. And then the brown part will get painted white, or this kind of off-white, to match the trim that's already here. So it'll be interesting. They'll be interesting stairs. They're not going to be kind of what I was thinking they were going to look like, but I think they'll be interesting, and definitely they're original. I mean, these are the original stairs that were put in the house when it was built, and so were the floors upstairs. So we don't want to mess with any of that if we don't have to. And they're in pretty good shape. They took a good sand, and I think they're going to be nice, if not unique. And isn't that what we're all about? We just all want to be unique and special in our own special way. Yeah, you're trouble. You got a whole house down here. You can just not go up there. He's got a whole first floor of a house, but he wants to go in that door and go up the stairs and get in the floor. I can't wait till that bathroom floor is closed up. This is why you couldn't live at our house for 3 weeks while we were having our hardwood floors done, because you can't stay out of anything. Look, now he's going to go in the bedroom and try to get in this door. Yeah, you can't open the door, can you? Because I put a stool in front of it because he got in that door yesterday, even though it's taped up. I have no clue how he got in the living room door last night. I can't even hardly open that door. Maybe a poltergeist opened it for him and he went up. Yeah, have fun staying down here today. So annoying. Go ahead, meow. This is all we did last night. We had this room closed off because the second coat went on the floor, the wood, last night. And he scraped on the doors and meowed all night, just dying to get up here. And now he's back. So they turned out good. It's poplar, 2 coats. Next up is I'm gonna scuff these down, try to get the worst of it patched. I don't know, that's hundreds of years of, like if you look at it in the light, the fronts of these are all banged up from just hundreds of years of people bouncing their shoes, I guess, off of them. So I don't know how much I want to scrape them down, but I'll definitely get them down where they'll hold paint and get all that painted white, and I think this is going to look darn good. Not what we were expecting for sure, but unique. Was not expecting poplar to be here, but I think they turned out really good. I'm going to give them a week or two to cure up before I start tracking on them too much and doing the rest of this, because it's going to be a messy little job. That'll be a rainy day. Right now it's beautiful outside, and I'm going to be out here in this front area. I got to get these beds put back together. When it's beautiful in Tennessee outside, that's when you go outside. When it's rainy in Tennessee outside, that's when you go inside. Later steps. And then the steps are kind of on hold, so I'm waiting for the oil-based to kind of fully cure. It's been curing for 4 days, so it's fine to walk on, but it really needs to wait 7 days before it gets a lot of traffic, so we've kind of put drop cloths on it to keep traffic down. And then probably after a week, I've been doing some outside stuff. I've been outside doing landscaping, but if the weather doesn't cooperate, I'm gonna stay outside if it cooperates, but if it doesn't and it gets rainy, then I'll come in here and I'm gonna scrape these, the risers, scrape them down, sand them down a little bit, scuff them up, and then paint those. And then that'll get the steps pretty much wrapped up. I'll put the spindles back up, balusters, and that'll wrap the foyer. More priming. So I'm working on my spindles. This is the last big project on the inside. Bought the house 1 year ago today. So I'm about to put the spindles back on the steps. It's the last. I just filled in the nail holes with putty. Now I'm priming the top. They've already been painted. I'm just priming the top so that they're painted all the way to the top, because I think they were painted in place originally. So I want them to be perfect. Spare no energy. I'll let it prime for a minute, and then I'll put a coat of paint on and then nail them back up. Be a fun 1 year anniversary project. Helping Emily out here. These are all finished. They've been painted. The painters came, they cleaned everything up nicely. I went under here, and there were spots of white paint, and then there were spots where there was no finish from, I guess, when they were originally installed, and I stained all that to get rid of those. And I think that's all I've done. Did that all the way up. Everything's been painted. And now I just have to put the spindles back in, and I've painted all the spindles, and this should be easy. I've got them numbered, so they'll start, and then they'll go in here with one nail. So I bought this trim gun because I was going to do trim, but then I found a trim guy and I didn't need to do trim, but I just used it to place this one piece of trim. Let me just finish nailing this up right here. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of work done. But why do it? I'm not a professional trim guy. Hire a professional trim guy and let him do professional trim. It's way better than my Sam doing it. And I'm hoping this comes together easily and quickly. They came out pretty easy. They should go in easier. It's gonna look nice. It's my last house project of era number 1. 1 year ago, we bought the house. We had no clue what this room was gonna look like. It was covered in wall-to-wall wallpaper, 6 layers. The steps were painted. We had big ideas. And I think it's turned out nice. So let's wrap this up. Done. Done. Looks pretty darn good. I like it. Final room, check. 1 year, check. House looks a lot different than it did a year ago.